Hello everybody and welcome back for episode 2 of my silly little vlog series. I'm so glad that you decided to join us again for another little chunk of rambling thoughts and bizarreness and whatever the hell happens to come out of my mind during this little interval of nuggetry. So, you may notice some things look a little bit different from the last one. Well, that's because we're always in a state of constant adaptation and learning and changing and... Anyway, the background you see right here, this is actually a still photo that I took while I was at the MoMA in New York City at one point, and I figured it would suit this series very well. I'm not sure if this is going to be what it ends up staying as, but I figured, you know, as a temporary backdrop, at least we'll get things sorted out, and, you know, could be worse. Also, I have this nice new mic now. I got a blue Nessie, which is working out very, very well for me for all of my audio needs, and I've been very happy to be using that on most of my recordings now. In fact, I think all of them since about the day after I picked it up. And that's what I'm using right now, and it sounds pretty good in my opinion. You know, maybe there's some things I could do to tweak it to make it sound even a little bit better, but I'm pretty happy with the results so far. And right now we're pairing it with my little silly Logitech crappy webcam, and that's probably marginally better than my iPhone reverse camera. I don't know. It's gonna work for the moment. I'm gonna probably order a new camera like real soon, so maybe episode 3 will look a bit sharper. I certainly hope so anyway. But anyway, all those things aside, just wanted to cover up some of the stuff, the quirketry, the cosmetics, the behind-the-scenes-ness, because sometimes people ask, and that's a totally valid thing that people could wonder about. I've had a lot of people actually ask me about the mic recently, and hopefully you can tell that it sounds markedly better. And that's even just using the raw audio file. There's 3 settings on it. You can set it to raw, you can set it to vocal, or you can set it to music. And I've been setting it just to the raw setting and just doing post-processing where necessary, and I think that actually sounds just fine. So, might be wondering what's on the docket for today. Well, I just had one little question that I wanted to answer, and I think this is going to become reasonably commonplace with the way that this series goes. I'll probably answer like 1 or 2 questions from people, or just have a little rambling thought, whatever happens to be the thing I'm in the mood for at the time. And today I wanted to answer a question from YouTube user MacLeod, who asks, possible topic for the next vlog, your health/exercise plans. For example, would you consider having a motivational Google spreadsheet tracking walks you and a friend take? Another topic, how weird watching someone else game on Twitch, and or how a face cam emulates the experience of the friend playing the whole game sitting next to you. So regarding the first one, I mentioned a few times that I've been trying to make a little bit of an improvement in my health and lifestyle by going for walks. It's been flooding my Twitter feed. I've been talking about it a lot lately. So I live on a mountain. I've decided to walk up that mountain on, you know, very common occasions. In fact, I've been trying to do it daily, although, you know, it's been rainy and stuff, so I've been kind of putting it off a little bit in the last couple days. But other than that, I hit 5 days straight. I wanted to walk like over a mile each day. One of those days I actually did over 2, and I even did some jogging. So I've been kind of happy about the way that's going, and I think this is a positive change, and something that I think will make a positive change in anybody that's in a situation like my situation that happens to be. You know, I struggle with some anxiety issues, some depression and things, and getting exercise is a really good idea, and it's something that I've put off for way, way too long. And in fact, one of the things that started to creep into my head was I put off getting exercise for so long that maybe it's like a bad idea to get exercise. I might just like walk outside and drop dead because, I don't know, blood clot or something. I sit down for like 8-10 hours a day, sometimes more, depending on what my daily workload is. And it's really bad for you. It's like the worst thing. I should not be doing that at all whatsoever. And if there's any positive message to take away from this, it's like, don't do that yourself, and probably go to a doctor as soon as possible. Unfortunately, the American healthcare system, not the best thing in the world, and I've been in a position where financially I wasn't really able to afford healthcare. I did finally get that the last month, or rather the beginning of this month, so I now have the ability to go to the doctor, get checked up, and you know, try and make the best of the situation. Shouldn't have let things get as bad as they got, but now that we're here, well, what really can you do? You beat yourself up over? You might as well embrace the situation, try and do what you can with the way things are going. So, anyway, positive health changes are always good. I recommend you do the same if you have a similar situation going on, especially if you struggle with depression or anything like that. Getting out and getting in the sun, moving your muscles around and all of that stuff, you know, generates some positive stuff going on in your mind. There's chemical exchanges and things that do good work for you. So, put your body to work for yourself, and you'll end up happier as a result. Anyway, that's one part of the question, and hopefully you guys agree with most of that stuff. I think it's fairly not controversial to say that, like, exercise is a pretty good idea, and, if you sit in front of a computer for a living, try and get it where you can. The other question was, how do you feel about, like, Twitch and face cams, and, like, does it kind of feel like a friend sitting next to you, playing a game with you? And yeah, that's kind of what it is, in a way. Since we all happen to live, and this is not only my personal situation, but I think a lot of the people that watch, and the community that I think we have, is a lot of people that maybe a lot of their friends moved across the country, or other parts of the world, or anything like that. And we find ourselves in a position where we don't really have the luxury a lot of the time to just sit and hang out with friends, which sucks. It's awful, but on the upside, we try to make the best of it. We have internet, and we tried to essentially create a network through playing games with each other. It's what we would have wanted to do anyway, right? So, it works, everybody enjoys it. Yeah, I pretty much do feel it's very much like sitting next to somebody and playing a game, and that very experience that I think a lot of us would want to have if we could. And, props to those of you out there who still have friends living around you. Take advantage of that time while you can. I don't know if you're still in college or if you're in high school, but either of those two things, like, that stuff is not the majority of life, and after you're out of it, you'll find that a lot of people have a lot of different callings that pull them to different parts of the world. So if you have an ability to hang out with your friends, try and use that time as well as you can, because you probably won't be able to get it back, unfortunately. I don't mean to sound negative when I say that, because there's plenty of other alternatives, and if you're, able to, hopefully you can get together with your friends and spend some time with them as often as possible. But, you can't always guarantee it. So just saying, while you have them, hang out with your friends, go outside. All that advice that Nintendo would give you on, every 15 minutes, basically. So, in an effort to keep these vlogs fairly short, I just wanted to kind of hit those two things and let you guys know that I do want to continue to make this possibly a weekly, or at least as often as possible, series. So please do leave me some feedback if you enjoyed the new positioning of the camera, which is not directly in front of my face. I know that was a thing last time. I was told about 100 times in the space of about 5 minutes. It was kind of silly. You guys, is the camera far enough away now? Is it far enough away? Can you see? Is it far? I get the point. Anyway, we hopefully have remedied that situation. If the camera is still not far enough away, then I will sort that out next time. And hopefully you guys think that this is an okay presentation. Again, pardon the slight graininess and things. I'll do my best to try and make this look even better in future episodes. But I think we have a solid groundwork now for where things can go. And I think I have much better opportunities to go ahead and introduce other elements, because I don't want this to just necessarily be straight me talking into a camera for all of it. There's some show and tell elements that I think we could introduce to things, as well as somebody actually had asked me, like, could you do a vlog while you're out on one of your walks? And I think that's a totally reasonable thing to ask. I spend a lot of my time being out of breath since, like I said, walking up mountains, not the easiest thing, but, I think it's good for the scenery. I think we could probably work that out. So maybe I'll pick a day and we'll try and do something like that. Although I am very anxious about speaking in public when there's, like, cars driving by and stuff. For some reason, that really bugs me. I'll get over it. It's not that big of a deal, I guess, in the scheme of things. But anyway, let me know if you enjoyed this episode, if you'd like to hear more, or if you have any questions. Leave a question and I will perhaps feature it on the next episode or one after that. No guarantees. But, I could also just jump back around and pick something from Ask FM, or I could pick something from the comments here or the comments on the last episode. So it's kind of whatever strikes my fancy at the moment when I happen to be recording. And if you guys really enjoy these, there's always a possibility that I could make more than one a week, or if I feel particularly inclined, all of that stuff. So, let me know what you think, as always. And if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like. It helps me out a whole bunch. So I will see you for the next one, and I hope you have a fantastic evening. I'll talk to you next time. Marvelous.